So, intuition for me was something that I backed into despite myself. I would love it if I could tell you that I had this life changing moment and I actually knew it was a life changing moment, but that's not how it worked. So, I loved the Scholastic Book Club and I loved saving up my 25 cents a week allowance to buy the books that were in the Scholastic Book Club, really the thin paper circular that came out. And so when I was in fourth grade, there was a book on palm reading. And I really don't know how I was attracted to that, why I was attracted to that, but I ordered it and I read it with great interest and felt like I was completely unable to learn any of it. I tried to memorize the lines and the mounds, those raised parts of the palm. I really did try. And I didn't think I learned anything. And then when I was in high school, I would drink too much. Sorry, but I did. And then I read palms as a party trick because by that time I was a total skeptic. I thought all of it was nonsense and that it was simply funny. So I worked at a burger place and I was, I think, 17, and I went to work and opened the store at 8 in the morning. And my boss came in and said, "What did you do last night?" And I said, "I drank too much and I read palms." And he shoved his hands at me and said, "Well, read mine." And I said, "No, you don't understand. It's a joke. I don't actually read palms." And he said, No, read my palms." Well, this was a long time ago, and I tended to do what I was told. And my boss at my job was telling me to read his palms. So I looked at his palms and I was startled and I pushed them away and I said, "Really, I don't do this." And he said, "No, you saw something. What did you see?" And he kind of looked like that guy in I Shrunk the Kids. I can't think of Rick Moranis, I think is his name. And he had big, thick black glasses and he was really geeky looking. And I said, "Well, I see cameras on a workbench. Who would keep their cameras on a workbench?" And he went dead white and he said, "I have a hobby of making cameras and I have cameras and camera equipment all over my workbench." Well, that stopped me dead in my tracks because, again, I was a skeptic. I thought that it was silly stuff. Then later, I met a woman who lived in the neighborhood, and my kids were young then, and my kids and the neighbor kids called her a witch. And they had these jokes about whether or not she sacrificed goats. So I don't remember enough about it, but I think I probably wanted to be nice to her because the kids were not being nice. And I went over and introduced myself, and I found out that she read tarot cards, and that's probably why the kids were calling her that. So I asked her if she would teach me how to read the Rider-Waite deck. And I have to say that by this time I was no longer a complete skeptic, but I sure wasn't on any bandwagon or anything. And when I was a teenager, actually younger than these other times, I thought that the Rider-Waite deck was evil. I mean, I just thought it was the height of evil. So I was a little afraid of it. Anyway, she attempted to teach me, and this is how much I learned. Nothing. And I was then convinced that I couldn't learn anything about tarot decks. I don't know that I thought much of my palm reading skills. But having a sense of humor, moving forward, I actually ended up developing my intuition, which is a whole nother story. And I became good enough that I was giving out life-changing information, and I had people referring other people to me, and pretty soon I had a business. I wish things happened that easily now, but I just did what I did back then. And I ended up being part of something called the Program in Intuition from the Kaiser Institute. It was a program designed to teach business leaders and physicians intuition. It was high end. We had the onerous task of meeting in resorts, and I taught the head of the VA, the head of the Centers for Disease Control, the head of Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, all kinds of heavy hitters. And we had a night, one of the weekends, where, and I wasn't included in all of the weekends, I was included in 2 of the 3. And there was a night when it was called Walk on the Wild Side, and everybody did something a little fun, a little, shall I say, in the world of spirituality, racy. So somebody taught about runes, somebody else taught about, I think it was about numerology. I offered to read palms. And it ended up being life-changing. It wasn't what I was intending. So then I discovered other people's intuition origin stories. There are 2 people, both of whom are just seriously gifted with intuition. And one of them said she started out reading the bottoms of beer glasses when people were done drinking their beer as a party trick. That's how some of us start. And she would read the bottoms of beer glasses and discovered that she was super accurate. The other person really loved carrot cake. And so she would go to her favorite restaurant and she would sort of check in with the carrot cake to see how fresh it was, how moist it was, whether or not she was going to order it. So I'm curious about, what are your intuition stories? I think we're always looking for these life-changing moments, but these moments that I've just told you, they were life-changing, but they didn't appear to be life-changing at the time. So keep an eye out for your intuition origin story. It might even be this video. I would be honored if that were so. So thank you for joining me. I have a program coming up. I'm Fran Gallagher, and my program is called Trust Your Gut, Intuition for Decisions That Matter. And it's really cool. It's 12 weeks. I used to be a technical writer. I wrote user's guides for hardware and software. I am not kidding. And so I know how to do things in a step-by-step sequential way, even though intuition itself is not step-by-step and it's not sequential. So I'd love for you to join me. It starts February 15th, 2022, and information is on my website, reallyflourish.com. Thank you so much.